7 gallons in there, right? So we're not gonna. We have to sparge. Remember that? You have to pour the water on top after
yeah,
it's
after.
gets
Yeah.
you made it, right? So we're gonna take off 2 gallons.
Yeah.
So we have to heat this up to the sparging temperature, which is around 175 degrees or so. Now this one, we got to put in the bags of grain in there, or malt.
So we're gonna put it here, right?
Yeah, so we got rice, so wheat malt, and then we have a Bavarian one or a German one. It's a Pilsner malt, and that's just more of the Bryce one.
Oh,
So
and
these
then
two
this
are,
one.
and then this is just for later. That's for when we do the priming of the bottles. So this is the hops we're using,
Oh, okay. And how come we only have one, huh?
because it's totally different beer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's not a hop
It's not a
forward
hop.
beer.
And then these are the bag. Are these bigger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they
there's
seem to be bigger.
2 bags.
And it could be reused.
Yeah, these are reusable ones.
That's good.
Yeah. And this is for the hops.
Okay.
So we're gonna fill these bags up. Are you taking video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can.
So we're actually this is the wrong one. So if you wanted more banana, you could change the fermentation temperature, you could boil at higher temperatures. But if you start the boiling process slower, you can get more clove. So most people like clove because banana pretty much dominates this type of beer, which is, I mean, not always, but it's pretty close. Clove, it's a spice.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a thing called certain parts of the sugars out or change the acidity of the wort, which is this liquid we're making,
Yeah.
by holding the grain at a temperature of about 110 or so. And it releases these acids into it, basically, that acidify the mash, right? So this wort that we're making.
Yeah.
So a mash is putting the grains in there and we're mashing it. It's called mashing in, right? So when this hits 110 or so, we're going to kind of stop the
The boiling or the water from boiling.
no, we're going to stop the heat. So right now the temperature here is 70. So here, if you look in here, no, look inside.
Yeah.
So we want it to about 110, and then we're going to stop it. I'll go about 115 or so, and then we'll put the bags in there for 15 to 20 minutes. And that way it's going to release some acids, right?
Yeah. No.
So we want this water, which is right now a pH of about 7. We want it for a good beer about 5.6, 5.7 for this beer. So actually they even say for some of them even go down as 5.2. But I'm going to read just a couple of things here just to double check. Okay, actually they're saying it's best to bring this already to a 5.7. So we've got a pH tester here, right? Right? So this thing tests pH, right?
Yeah.
So watch. So right, I'll put it in here. It'll bring it to. Now I put it already in water. I already put it in water. So at room temperature, it should say 7, right? So it's a little higher than room temperature, so you can see it keeps going up. It'll probably go above 7, but the point is we got to bring this down to a 5.2 to 5.6, right?
Okay.
So we're going to do that with lactic acid, right? So we have this lactic acid here,
Okay.
right? So we're just going to put a little bit of this in here, but I just want to double check what we got here for pH because it's still
6.8.
adjusting.
6.9 now.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be 7, but it'll probably be over because we're heating it up and it's above room temperature. So this is,
There you go, 7.
yeah, so this is adjusted to a room temperature, that reader. So we're going to put about a half a vial in here. Maybe, I'm going to put maybe that much just to start.
What do you call that again?
Lactic acid.
Lactic acid, okay.
So we're going to stir that around. And then, you know, again, this really shouldn't be done in at this temperature, but oh, so we got to put quite a bit more in. Now we've also got to do it to that sparge water too, as well. But yeah, I think we're getting an off reading because it's hot. So I'm gonna have to. Well, it's giving me a different reading because it's too hot. See, it's going down. Maybe we should get some ice water.
You want to get ice?
Yeah, here, can you grab some ice out of there? Yeah, it's not going down, so we're going to put even more.
That's not bad, right?
It's going down, right? So we can bring it back up by adding calcium chloride to it, which actually and also, if we don't do this, you're better off taking. Oh yeah, sorry, calcium chloride brings it down. Shit. Don't put that on the video. Yeah, probably even more acidic. It's the other one. Well, let's pitch this. Well, that does too. I didn't realize that did too. Huh. I'm sure that could have brought it up. Okay, well. So it was acidic, but I put the more alkaline water from the sparge, which is a 7.
Yeah.
And I mixed it. And then I got a higher number in here, which is what I wanted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's 5.6. Perfect. That's what we want.
That's what you want. Okay.
So that's this one. What? 5.9. So we're going to make that a little acidic. It's my crude measurements. The brewer would be disgusted, I think.
So I'm supposed to do it this way as well.
There you go. 5 point. Oh, that's 5.1.
Oh,
Oh,
oops.
way down.
Oops.
I put too much in there. Oh, that's because it's too hot. Oh did stir it. There you go. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Yeah, they're both about the same now. Cool. So here I'm stirring the grain in here so we can get more of the sugars out into the water, or into the mash, they call it, or the wort. This is called the mash, the mashing in process. Mashing process.
Mashing. M-A.
M-E-S-H.
H. Oh, okay.
I-N-G.
So mash, meaning to like
Mash things up,
mash
yeah.
things up. Okay.
And then you're left with the liquid, which is called a wort.
The wort. This is the
And that's
wort?
not quite beer yet. It's only beer when you then add the yeast to it. Then you get officially beer.
Okay.
But beer won't be made for at least a few days.
Oh, that's the start.
Yeah, so that's the starter. And that was liquid yeast bought at the brew store with half a cup of dried malt extract, which is this stuff here. So you boil that dry malt extract.
How much did you
And
put?
1/2 cup.
One and a
with
half cup.
1 liter
With
of
1
liquid of water.
of water.
Boiled that, cooled it down, and then added the yeast to here. And this is what it looks like after a day.
Okay.
So here is 2 liters, or it was 2 liters, of the wort that we took off that had been sitting with the grain for about 20 minutes, maybe 25. So we took this off and we now boiled it for 15 minutes, which is pretty much now. So we're going to put this back. So we have a temperature in this big one of 132.
Okay.
And so we're going to add this back. It's going to bring the temperature up probably around 148. We'll see what we get. And we're just going to mix this around. Change temperature. Let's see what we get here. Oops. It's a 140, 139. Okay, so now we could do the same thing. We could do another decoction for 15 minutes and then add that back to the water.
Okay.
We do that. It just takes a longer process. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do another one of these?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it.
So how do you...
So what we do is
I'll
we'll...
get a cup. Oh,
Yeah, so we'll just take this and we'll changes some of the sugar components in here. Oh, shit.
Oops. You change the sugar component to into
More
alcohol.
No. It's the
That means it's more alcohol. Is what I'm
no,
trying
it
to
doesn't
say.
make anything with the alcohol.
Okay.
It just changes the flavor. So the malts have different strains of malt. They're basically amino acid building the proteins within the malt get broken down when you boil it, and it allows the characteristics of the beer to kind of stand forward. So when you have this type of beer, which is a wheat beer, you're looking at certain things. It can make it more cloudy. It could make it a better mouth feel in the mouth. It can change the color. Yeah. So and then the yeast eat these sugars, and all various different yeasts eat different types of malts. So when you vary the malts, you can start to get different flavors from the yeasts. So what makes a beer taste good is because the yeasts are in there doing their thing, and the yeasts have off flavors like farts. I guess if you want to think of it, they have off gases. right?
Yeah.
And those are what we like. Those are flavor. So with this particular beer, it has off flavors of clovey tastes or banana flavors. And that's what we're looking for, actually. So it could enhance those flavors too by doing what we're doing with these decoctions. Just checking temperature, because we want to mash this for a time of about an hour at 150 degrees. So when we add this next one after boiling, it's going to bring it up to close to 150, and then we'll just heat it to 150, put a lid on it, and let it sit for an hour. We can wrap it with a towel or something as well, just to try to maintain that temperature as best we can. And then after that, then we take the grains out and we boil it for oh, actually, sorry. After that, before we take the grains out, we put this sparge water in through and over the grain so that we get more
Flavor of the grains.
more of the sugars out.
All the sugars out. Okay.
So, yeah, does that make sense? So it's not only sugars, we're actually trying to extract and create different flavors by changing by mashing it at separate stage in temperatures. So different stages of temperatures will give all those characteristics I was talking about. And the sparge water is just important to get the volume of water needed so that when we boil it, we're going to evaporate all that water, but it's going to concentrate it and again create different types of breakdowns of the malt. And then again gives different foods for the yeast and then different flavors. But we want to end up after the boiling of about 5.5 gallons.
Oh, okay.
And so that wort eventually, so once that's boiled down to 5.5, then we pour it into a bucket, add the yeast, and let it sit for a few days. Maybe about 2 weeks, even a week.
Weeks.
For sure, a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we make the beer. Then we bottle it
Okay.
for a week, and then we can drink it.
Okay. I'm gonna massage Maya then, and then I'm gonna feed her because I want to cook the nilaga. Okay, baby?
Yep.
So we're done here.
Yep.
The process. Okay. And then you don't need me for another.
Want to see, or see those are the grains in there?
Yeah.
So the trick is just, or the key here, what we're trying to do is just get all the starchy sugars out of there as much as possible through this process.
Yeah.
That's the basic reason for doing this, or what we're doing.
Okay, let me talk about okay, if it's half the time and half the pressure, I need to practice the one. Oh my god, my client's waiting. Okay, I still have to do the fish. Hold on, Maya. So I need to do practice of that and time myself. So I'm coming, my baby. Okay, Bob, hold on.
So that's 137. I got to bring it up.
I'm waiting for Ate to get the oil. Okay, I cannot be in too many places today. I'm just gonna do the massage. My friends aren't coming, so I gotta practice.
So what's another thing that's important is not to burn the bottom.
The bottom, yeah, to keep it consistent, right?
So I'm gonna keep moving the water
Oh, okay.
because there's sediment that'll come from it's grain. It's not just grain; it's ground up grain. So there's flour in there. So anyways, yep. So that's it. So
I'm ready to eat 5 times in 2 hours.
Oh, it's okay. Drink. Just got a massage. Okay, here.
all right. So we're just bringing it up to 170. Then we're gonna sparge. It's probably 165, 67 or something like that. So we've been basically cooking these grains for over an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been a lot longer than normal, but hopefully we'll get the benefit of really tasty beer. You know what? Let's sparge now. Whatever. Fine by me. What's this? So just checking this sparge water temp. It's gonna bring it down, but whatever. And we gotta get that up. So let's just get that up to at least 160. So we'll just have to keep doing this then. It'll help. Like a degree a minute. Basically, this burner works so slow. Maybe 2 degrees a minute. Burping in the camera here.
I'm like sweating like crazy.
And it's on a pretty high heat, and so we've got sugars in this water. There's sediment
I
on.
know why you're eating the corn, because you're having nilaga and I'm cooking fish. Salmon fish, and then with nilaga.
The sugars at the bottom of the pot. If you don't have it keep moving, it can burn. Because the burner's red, right? It's hot right now.
Yeah.
So,
I see.
So you got to keep it moving. It's kind of a pain in the butt right now. Either stir it or just make sure everything's moving.
Go say hi to Are.
She's probably sleeping right now, so go in quietly, honey.
Probably needs a massage. I've never massaged her. I don't know. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm tired now.
Anyways, let's just check this one. See.
I'm gonna give her dinner for 8. I'm gonna shower her half an hour.
Okay, so it's getting pretty close. So let's turn this off. And
Yeah?
no.
No.
All right, so
How do you call that again?
sparging. Well, this isn't the sparging, but
You're just taking off
right now
the
I'm just
water,
trying to get all the
excess.
water out.
Okay.
Or warped. Now it's warped, technically. So, but what we should do is, if you want to do it,
Yeah, I could put the hot water.
so you're going to take
Okay,
water
just
from,
like
Mom, they're on
whole
video
process.
right now.
pour it all in. Oh, that's good for now. Okay. Bags are not so.
Yeah,
Porous.
it takes so there's no
Porous.
which is good for leche plan, like I said, right? If I make that leche
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah, so sparging
Will take long.
takes a long time. Usually it's 20 minutes. So
Ay
maybe we
caramba.
should have both up here then. But then
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
set
put
up a shower for you soon.
Hmm.